3 videos, 1 week. You lucky swines. Hello everybody and welcome to Friday's edition of the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. Not loads to talk about. 3 main stories really that we're going to cover. We'll get straight into the first one right about now. So yesterday, Trek announced the launch of its new flagship lightweight road bike, the Emonda. Now, if you know anything about the Emonda on Zwift, you know it is one of the fastest bikes up Alpe d'Huez Zwift. And Trek are claiming that it is the fastest climbing bike ever. According to Trek's testing, the new bike can save a rider 19.1 seconds per hour on a simulated replica of Alpe d'Huez. It'll even save you Alpe d'Huez. And the frame, unpainted, comes in under 700 grams. And I was thinking, right, you look at a road bike and it looks pretty robust because of the shape and the size of it. You look at it and you think, yeah, that's pretty robust. It's heavy duty. But then when you take the wheels off, the handlebars, the saddle, the gearing, everything, and you're left with just the frame, it's 700 grams. Like that's 4 of these yogurts. Like that's 4 of those yogurts in weight is, and I know it's slightly different because it's carbon and it's a composite that creates rigidity and flexibility and stability. Depending on the way it's laid up and shaped. I understand that. You couldn't ride 100 kilometers on 4 yogurts. But my point being, how light that actually is. It's crazy. Anyway, so one of the ways Trek have made this bike faster is, well, essentially they took an Emonda and a Madone and they sent them on a date. And then things happened. And then 9 months later, this brand new bike came. No one knows where it came from, but it was made. So essentially this bike, although named after its mother, can we assume gender on a bike? I don't know. Like, would you consider the Emonda the female and the Madone the man? It's more aggressive. It's more aerodynamic. Whereas the Emonda I consider more of the female because of its elegance. And it's lightweight. And it's beauty. Not that women can't be aggressive, and likewise men can be beautiful and elegant and stylish. Let's not assume genders on bikes. But essentially, an Emonda and a Madone came together to produce this Emonda SLR. One thing I do know though is the price. Here in the UK, it's going to retail at £9,700. 11,000 euros and I think 12,000 US dollars. I could buy a Yamaha R6 almost for that price. And according to Zoopla, I could potentially buy a property. Now, I get that a lot of R&D go into these bikes, but why? Why does it cost nearly 10 grand for essentially a bicycle? Well, it is a bicycle, isn't it? I'm looking at my Basso here and just seeing they're pretty basic things. Like if you think of a motorcycle, you get a lot for your money. And a lot of workmanship has to go into that. And I'm not saying it doesn't for a bicycle. But you don't seem to get much for your money when it comes to bikes. But, hey, they put it at that price point because people will buy it, won't they? So, man. Next up in the news, a story we kind of covered briefly a few months ago, and this was talk of Chris Froome potentially leaving Team Ineos. But the rumours are starting to bubble up again, and I think these rumours are going to turn from rumours to facts to Chris Froome signing for Israel Startup Nation. I mean, when we spoke about this, I don't think anybody mentioned it. Potentially they did, but there's a real chance that as of the 1st of August, Chris Froome could be riding for Israel Startup Nation. He's yet to sign his Team Ineos extension on his contract, which means he's essentially a free agent According to the website Tutobici, it seems that Chris Froome's farewell to Team Ineos seems to be getting closer. And according to the badly translated story, Israel Startup Nation manager Sylvan Adams wants Froome on a 3-year contract starting from August the 1st. Now, whether he's jumped on the whole story of Team Ineos having this issue with 3 main riders going into the Tour de France this year, if it happens, you've got Egan Bernal, you've got Chris Froome, and obviously you've got Geraint Thomas. Now, Froome might be feeling the pressure that he might not be lead rider. I mean, how many times can we go around in circles talking about this? I think G potentially is the least strongest of those 3 and would be considered a super domestique, ready to pick up the pieces if anything should happen. But which one of these 2 are going to give way? Which one of these 2 are going to be the Chris Froome of 2012? Because Chris Froome wants to go for 5 and Egan Bernal, why should he? Like, he's 21. Is he 21? I don't know. He's pretty young, though. He's got his whole career ahead of him. Like, he could win more than Chris Froome ever did. And if you've got the potential to win it, why would you go, actually, let Froome win just one more? You won't, would you? I mean, Froome did it in 2012, and fair play to him for doing that. I mean, he would have been lynched in the UK if it had been Bradley Wiggins, wouldn't he? Really. But still, he did it, and obviously he reap the rewards further down the line. But is Egan Bernal going to want to do that? I don't think so. So essentially this leaves Chris Froome in a position where he says, well, if I can't guarantee that number 1 spot in Team Ineos, somebody going to pay me some more money to move? It appears that Israel Startup Nation potentially might be. It's still speculation. But hey, we can speculate. That's what we do here on the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. I speculate. So what do you think of this? If this happens, Chris Froome goes to Israel Startup Nation, then you've only got 2 leaders in Team Ineos, and it becomes a lot clearer which one. Based on the 2019 Tour de France, you've got to say that Egan Bernal is in a much stronger position than Geraint Thomas to go ahead and win the Tour de France. But potentially with the lack of high mountains, it might favour G in the long run. It's hard to say. But based on 2019, you look at it and you go, G struggled a few times there. Egan Bernal really didn't, and he seemed to only be getting stronger. So essentially he becomes the leader, and if anything happens to him, then G's ready to step in and take the slack and win the Tour de France. But then you look at Froome going over there, and who has he really got there that's going to support him the way he could have got the support in Team Ineos? You've got Dan Martin. He's got aspirations for himself. Is he ready and willing to say to Froome, I'll be your wingman now? Because, I mean, a lot of things would have to happen for Dan Martin to finish in the top spot. But Dan Martin's more than capable of getting a podium position if he's on form. And again, is he going to want to sacrifice his own success for a guy that's just rocking up, coming into the team? But then beyond him, who have you got in that team? You look at the pro cycling stats numbers, and there's not enough riders in that team that you would consider a solid team to put around Chris Froome to be able to win a Tour de France. If Chris Froome goes there, he's essentially going to have to do it on his own. But maybe he's just realised, I can't beat Egan Bernal. I'm not on the form that I used to be on. Give me 3 years contract. Pay me 10 million squidders for it. I'll be a man. And then he just gets a massive payday. There's essentially no way of him ever winning a Grand Tour, but they get the publicity they need. He has no pressure on him anymore because he doesn't have to win it, because he hasn't got the team around him to win it. He'll obviously go and try and win it. That's what winners do. But he'll have to do it off his own back. It's like Cavendish when he lost his lead-out train. He had to learn how to skip between the riders and ride the wheels and still manage to win races. And essentially that's what Froome is going to have to do. But high up in the mountains, if there's only him and Dan Martin and Team Ineos 1-2 him, he ain't got a chance. But anyway, as I say, it's all still speculation, and we could have Froome winning the Tour de France this year for Team Ineos. But let me know your thoughts down below. If he goes to Israel Startup Nation, it's kind of at the end of his career. Is he just going to be there for the payday, or do you genuinely believe, definitely not this year, but potentially next year, that Israel Startup Nation will develop a team around Froome and potentially get him to that top spot again at the Grand Tours? Let me know down below. Right, and then finally, a story that's it's just plain blooming weird. I want to know your thoughts on this one. Have I missed something here? Is it glaringly obvious what's going on here? I don't know. But last week, it was announced that Mitchelton Scott are now going to be known as the Manuela Fundación after a new sponsor have come on board and essentially taken over the prime sponsorship from Mitchelton Scott of Team Green Edge Cycling. Over on greenedgecycling.com, there was a press release. There was the new Giordana kit, which, hey, I've got to say, it looks bloody lovely. And that's my kind of kit, right? Anyway, in this press release, it said that Green Edge Cycling will be called Team Manuela Fundación for the remainder of 2020 season and fully incorporate the new look when racing resumes, thanks to a new agreement with Manuela Fundación. Team owner of Green Edge Cycling, Jerry Ryan, said, after an unsettling and uncertain period, particularly in recent months, we are thrilled to have the support of Mr. Francisco Huertas and the Manuela Fundación to ensure our future in 2021 and beyond. And then from the Manuela Fundación, Mr. Francisco Huertas said, it's been an intense period of hard work between Manuela Fundación Sports Director Emilio Rodriguez and Mitchelton Scott General Manager Shane Bannon. It is an incredible opportunity and an honour to be able to reach this agreement. We want to thank Jerry Ryan for all his hard work and contributions so far, which has taken the team to its best. Now we will continue to boost this legacy and give great joy to the fans of the sport. So clearly this man has designs of grandeur and wanted to essentially own a cycling team by the looks of it. Pumped all this money into Green Edge Cycling, became the title sponsor of the team. But then it appears somewhere along the line, things got lost in translation, and I think Francisco Huertas was expecting full ownership of this team and for it to be essentially his team. And then on the other hand, you've got Green Edge, who own Mitchelton Scott and Jerry Ryan, who's maintaining ownership of the team and just sees Manuela Fundación as a title sponsor. And then he thinks he's owning the team. He thinks he's coming in as a sponsor. Obviously something happens this week and Green Edge pull out of the deal. They released a statement over on their website saying, after careful consideration, Green Edge Cycling has advised Mr. Francisco Huertas, owner of Manuela Fundación, that it will not proceed with the head of terms established on June the 5th, 2020. Ryan explains that we felt a strong initial connection with Mr. Francisco Huertas, the Manuela Fundación, and their noble aims. However, as the negotiations have evolved, after the initial announcement on Friday, we have concluded that the relationship will not proceed. We wish Mr. Francisco Huertas and the Manuela Fundación all the best in the future. Weird. How can they, both parties, get that close to an agreement for then to someone say, oh, by the way, you're not owning this team. This is purely just sponsorship, and him going, what? Hang on. I thought I was owning the team. These are supposed to be smart businessmen, and they've not even worked that one out. Unless there's something weird going on. I don't want to use the word dodgy, but if something weird's going on, like have Green Edge done it just to create a bit of publicity? Like they had the whole blooming kit designed. I just don't get it. What do you think of this story? Is there something more underlying to this that Pritchard here don't know about? Or is it just a case of two men being on completely different wavelengths? Thanks for watching, everybody. That's your lot for today. If you've not done already, hit that like button. If you've disliked this video for whatever reason, you can go and hit that dislike button. Leave me your comments down below as to why you dislike it. I just want to know so I can be better next time. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not done already. Almost at 25,000 subscribers. If you want to be part of that 25,000 subscriber army, then subscribe, become a member, get your little icon. I'm starting to see pink icons. Love it. Thank you so much for the support for the past 2 or 3 months. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, I really do appreciate each and every one of you taking the time, 1, to watch the videos, and 2, become members. More stuff coming for members in the future. Trust me, there's just going on at the minute, all right? Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.